Let me circle back to that first story that we ran about the AFP demanding 60 million pesos in damages from China over property damage during the June 17 confrontation. We're not even talking about medical costs for that wounded Navy seaman. How much of a legal basis do you think this would have?
Well, the Philippines has very solid legal basis to claim compensation because really China, what China did violates international law in so many different ways. So that country is therefore internationally responsible or liable for its actions. First, by doing so, it violated the sovereign immunity of the vessel. It is, after all, a Philippine Navy ship. Still, no matter how small it has that sovereign immunity and is considered to be part of the country. It represents the country, essentially. So the fact that they attacked it in that way violated the sovereign immunity of the vessel. Second, there was really no justification for what they did. The crew, the vessel, was not doing anything to them. So it was clearly an unprovoked attack, and it is attack attended with violence. So it is contrary to the principles of the UN Charter. It's an act or use of force against a sovereign nation because, as I said, the vessel represents the Philippines. So no matter how you look at it, China is internationally responsible for that unprovoked action. So they should pay.
So there's strong legal basis for it, but who adjudicates in this instance? How will we get that compensation?
Well, it's not a matter of adjudication. It really now is falls to the diplomacy. And I suspect that this was probably one of the items that was touched upon in the bilateral consultation meeting that they held the other day and yesterday, I think.
Okay, what about the reaction and the handling of the Philippines after the June 17 incident? I just wanted to, we haven't spoken in a while, I just wanted to get your thoughts on how you think the Philippine government handled that.
Well, I think, of course, it could have been better, but then it seems like the Philippine government right now is also in a kind of transition with respect to the agencies handling it and the decision making for it. So I think it's pretty clear that it's in that period, so maybe it's attributable to that.
Some would say that sending a Navy force to the resupply mission is an escalation on our part. I mean, because we could have sent our Coast Guard to do its routine resupply, but in the June 17 incident, we saw Navy SEALs out there.
No, I don't think it's an escalation because, the color of the vessel and the markings on it is not what creates any tension. Clearly here, it's the activities of a vessel and its crew, which is the one that can be a form of escalation. And we have not done anything like that. In fact, as we saw, there are only two rubber boats, basically, that reached the Sierra Madre. They were already moored at the side of Sierra Madre, and they weren't taking any kind of aggressive actions against anyone. So it's not because they were Navy vessels that it can be considered aggressive. And we shouldn't forget, the BRP Sierra Madre itself is a Navy vessel. So it's only right that it be resupplied and attended to by a military or Navy or Marines crew. So that's not a sound reason, I think. And it distracts from the fact that all this time, it really has been the other side that has been really incrementally escalating, from just a few ships to now tens or 20 ships basically against maybe a few of ours. And all those actions like using a laser and now here using knives and pickaxes of all things.
I want to come back to our top story about the damages that the AFP is asking China to pay. We now have a response from the Chinese side, fresh off the presses. This is from Chinese spokesperson Mao Ning. She says the Philippine vessels were carrying out an illegal resupply mission which violated China's territorial waters and staging a provocation. There's a bit of a grammatical error there. And staging a provocation when stopped by China Coast Guard, who acted lawfully and rightfully to defend China's sovereignty. The Philippine side should face the consequences of its own action. That is her response to the AFP saying they are seeking 60 million pesos or $1 million in damages.
Not surprising, since they think that we're under them. And they think they can charge us make us liable for actions that they took against us.
So we're not going to get anything, in short.
Probably.
As you said, this comes down to the diplomacy.
Yes, it comes down to diplomacy because in the end, China also has to consider that, what it did and the whole world knows it and then see these videos, etc. No? And it has implications about what are its implications to China's reputation and its sincerity in engaging in any kind of activity out there at sea. What does that imply for China and whether it respects the sovereign immunity of other states? No? So if it's smart, then it should consider this and possibly pay compensation as a way of precisely de-escalating and also re-establishing good relations with the Philippines.